Hi, good afternoon. I'm Patrick, this is Franco, and we are the founders of ReSight. Question for you. Does a report something like that look familiar to you? The kind of thing where the content is pretty consistent, but the form is pretty consistent, but the data needs to be updated every day, week, month, quarter, or year. These kinds of things are a hassle. They're tedious, they're time-consuming, but they're also really important. ReSight exists to save your team time and money by taking these kinds of reports completely off of your plate. So let me show you how we do that. This is the ReSight application, exactly what you might experience as a customer. Now, we happen to be looking at a sort of monthly investor report, but this could be anything. This could be your board deck, this could be your regulatory reporting, your compliance reporting. Any periodic reporting fits the bill here. Now, in this case, we've got a little bit of portfolio return data in the middle, some additional return data down below, and on the next page, we got a bit of commentary and a handful of charts. I want to point out just a couple of specific things before we mix things up a little bit. That's a pretty modest bit of commentary, or just generally text. The fourth chart there, the last chart, has a little footnote that's bound to some text at the bottom. So, with all these kinds of reports, what happens all too frequently is now it's time to update it. A new month has come along, so we need to get this thing refreshed. Franco's going to open some underlying Excel data here. But this could be any data that you currently use, okay? Data is messy. You've got different databases, different owners, different files, different formats. We understand that, and we've got really a lot of experience with that general mess. So we accept your data as is. You do not need to modify your data to work with the ReSight system. Now, in this case, we'll go to the Returns tab, and we'll add a new row to represent the latest month. And we're going to put in sort of an arbitrarily large value, just so we can pick it out a little later. And while we're here, let's push all that data over to the right, because we know that when Excel files get passed around, strange things tends to happen to them. And finally, let's update that commentary that we saw. And in this case, it happens to be in a separate Word document. And just to be a little bit obnoxious, let's double its length, because we know that's going to impact the layout of that report. Okay, now Franco's going to save and upload this to the system. But importantly, this is your data in its current form, generating your report without using your team's valuable time. Turn your team loose on the things that they're best at. Let us take care of this kind of stuff for you. Now, the report's been updated, so let's point out a few little things. The date in the upper left has been updated. The return value is shown in the chart in the middle there. It's also down at the table below. And that year-to-date value in the corner has also been updated. On to the next page. That return value has also been embedded directly in the commentary. But we doubled the length of that commentary, right? So what happened in this case? For here, the second two charts got pushed down to the next page. But importantly, that footnote on the last chart, it came with it. Now, we have all made little layout changes like this in PowerPoint, Word, BI tools, and frankly, it's a hassle, right? ReSight solves this for you. We've got a really clever reporting engine, or layout engine, that automatically compensates for changes in content length and data breadth. So your team's not wrestling with PowerPoint anymore. Importantly, the way this changed here is defined by you. If you don't want those charts to move, and instead you want the commentary font size to shrink, or a message that says, hey, you've got too much commentary, we can do that too. We can do whatever you need. This is not a black box. It's specified by you at onboarding. And so you just get the report that you want. So that's the basics. Your data in its current form generates your report at the click of a button. One other thing I want to mention here, we're looking at the UI version. All of this functionality can also be included in your own internal applications, including hosted on your own servers. That's actually how our largest client uses us. They send us a little API call. We give them back this giant valuation report. And the documentation for that is available publicly. Now, you've got your report. How many times have you asked yourself, is it right? Where did that data come from? These are really difficult questions to answer because your data came from a variety of different data sources, right? In this case, let's ask, where did that net asset number come from? ReSight answers this question for you with audit mode, which Franco will turn on now. The time your team spends trying to answer these questions is just time better spent doing on something that moves your business forward. So let them focus on that. In audit mode, the whole report is marked up. Everything in yellow is unchanged. That's just data straight from your data source. Everything in orange has been modified somewhat. It's a formatted date or number or a calculation or an aggregation. But I think, most interesting, every single value on the report has a little number next to it. And that annotated number maps to a data dictionary that's at the bottom of the report down here. And here you can see that the number 21 next to net asset value there, it tells you the Excel file, the tab, all the way down to the cell where your data came from. So your team's not digging through data anymore trying to figure that out. They just know. And you can save this whole version down along with a version that, say, you sent to a client, and you've got an audit trail for your regulatory and compliance needs. I can tell you from experience, compliance teams love this feature. So that's ReSight. Your data, your report. And run these as much as you like. You'll never be charged by the number of reports you run or the number of users that you have. That shouldn't matter, so it doesn't matter with ReSight. And all of this comes at really significant cost savings to you and your team. And maybe best of all, if we got started today, you'd be up and running next week. Before we go, today happens to be Franco's birthday, so come by our booth. Wish him a happy birthday. And he's got this, and we've got a few of these very custom, extremely rare ReSight birthday hats. Come get one. Let us know how we might be able to help you, and you can always get information at resight.com. Thank you very much.